Hello everyone, Mike Rempel from Excel Bytes with today's Excel blog post. Recently I did a blog post on how to create a dynamic print area. And that means that when your print area changes because you increase or decrease the number of rows or columns, that the print area will automatically adjust and only print the visible area that you want to. But I got a request asking what happens if the height of the print area might be dependent on several different columns, not just one column or the entire block. And how do I deal with that? So let's see how we can do that in Excel. So here's our scenario. I have a little bit of a data set here. Notice I have transaction lines of 1 to 25 and then 3 different accounts that have different numbers of data in them. And if I do a Control P to print that, you'll see it'll want to print the entire area, including all the blank rows. So if I just want to print the section that is visible, I would highlight that area, go to Page Layout, Print Area, and set the print area. And now when I do a Control P, it'll only print the area that has the data in it. However, with setting that somewhat permanently, if I add additional rows, like I just added 3 more, and I did a Control P, notice since I had already set that print area to print only for the first 8 lines of data, it doesn't automatically include that additional data. So the solution to do that is to use the offset function in the name manager and create a formula that will automatically adjust the height of the print area. So if we go over to Formulas and Name Manager, notice it has added an entry for print area, and that print area is defined as A1 through D9. That's what we originally had set up to get those first 8 lines worth of data. What we're going to do is use the offset function to create a dynamic range. And that offset function basically says, give me a starting point or a reference point. How many rows down do you want me to move and column over do you want me to move to start the block? And then how high do you want that block to be or that range to be? How wide do you want it to be? So we're going to use A1 and we're going to lock that as our reference point. I want to go down 0 rows and over 0 columns because I want to start with A1. And then in terms of height, we're going to use the count a function, and we're going to count, in this case, let's count the number of items in column C, and I'm going to lock that. And then as far as, I'm going to close that count a function. And then in terms of the width, I have 4 columns wide. I'm going to close that, hit enter. Now I get a value here because I can't display a range within a cell, but that's the formula I'm going to use. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. So I'm going to go to Name Manager. We're going to create a new one, and I'm going to paste that formula there, and I'm going to call this, say, DYN print for dynamic print, and I'll say OK. And now for my print area, I'm just going to change this to say equals DYN PRINT. And I'll say close. It'll say, do you want me to save that? I'll say yes. So now, if I do a Control P, notice it gives me all the way down to item number 11. If I delete several of those, and I do a Control P, it will give me to item number 7, which is perfect. However, if I add a bunch over to column D and I do a Control P, it still will only give me to item number 7 because I based it on the count of column C. So the question is, what happens if any one, B, C, or D might be the most or might have the most number of items in it? How do we deal with that? Well, what we're going to do is we are going to use the max formula and add it to our offset formula in order to determine which column has the most number of items. So if we take a look at equals max, And what we're going to do is say, what's the counter in column B? And you want to make sure you lock that. And then the counter in column C, again, I'm going to make those absolute cell references. And counter in column D, hit F4 to do that, close the max function. And notice right now I get 8. If I add a couple more to C, notice it gives me 10. If I add a bunch more to D, notice it automatically adjusts because it's going to check the count in all 3 of those columns and then give the max. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight that max function without the equal sign. I'll copy that. I'll go into my offset formula, and instead of just looking at counter for column C, I'll put in that max formula so it will look at whatever the max is for B, C, or D. So now we'll take that formula, I'll copy that, I'll go up to my name manager, I'll go into my Dyn print, I'm going to edit that, and I will paste that new formula that includes those max functions. I'll say OK and close. Now when I do a control P, notice it gives me all the way down to row 11. Now in row 11, notice I accidentally put a 0, so that made sense. If I add more to column C and I do a control P, notice it automatically included those rows all the way down to transaction number 13. So by using the max function in my offset formula, I have now given it the variable so that it can determine which column has the most number of items and then sets the print area accordingly. And that's how you can do that in Excel.
And there you have it. I hope you like what you see. If you do like what you see here, please take a minute to share this post on your favorite social network. I can be found on Facebook, Google+, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So I hope you enjoy this. If you'd like to see more, please feel free to stop by my website, excel-bytes.com, and I hope you subscribe. So have a great day and happy excelling.